Danny Segura for MMA Junkie here in South Florida at American Top Team, standing next to former interim UFC lightweight champion Dustin El Diamante Poirier. Poncinillo told me he's been teaching you some Spanish.
Poquito.
He says you always say like vamos, vamos, dale.
Yeah, man, always. Yeah.
So we got here El Diamante. Dustin, we're just a few weeks away from your title fight against Charles Oliveira at UFC 269, and I gotta say, this is supposed to be sort of the grueling, the tough part of camp. People usually don't like this, but I saw you sparring and you were having a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, man. I mean, the work's almost done. We've got one more week left, one more full week left of work. Then off to Vegas for the weight cut, fight week festivities, all that stuff. You know, sit down, media, interviews. That part is like you're going through the gauntlet, and at that point, you know, the light is almost there.
You think it's just a matter of perspective? Because you were telling me like, oh, for some people, like, yeah, this is tough, but for me, it's like I see the light of the tunnel. Like, there's an end to this.
Yeah, as I get towards the end of camp, I start to feel, wake up with a little bit more spunk. I know we're about to, fight night's approaching. And that's what these last 9 weeks have been preparing me for, is that night. And every day's a day closer. So I'm just excited. I like a little kid before Christmas,
Third title fight. Does it feel any different than any others? Does this fight carry a different feeling than the previous ones?
I mean, it means a lot to me. They all did, they all do. But it's just another day. Just something I do. I'm not putting too much on it, I have in the past, but this one just taking in stride. Just another day in the life of being a fighter at the top of his game. I'm not trying to put too much into it. Just another fight.
A lot of people said that this fight could have come a lot sooner for you. Probably the rightful title fight for the vacant belt should have been Charles Oliveira versus yourself. You obviously chose to fight Conor McGregor. The way everything has panned out, do you feel like all your decisions, all your choices have sort of worked out for you? Are you happy with the way things have developed?
For sure. I mean, I doubled down on myself. I've said that before, and I'll keep saying it because it's true. I stepped aside, let Chandler fight Oliveira for the belt. I went and beat Conor again, and now I'm back at the title shot, which I knew would happen if I would have won that fight. I just believed in myself and doubled down.
Now, I want to focus on that, but just to sort of put that aside real quick. McGregor says there's unfinished business, but obviously a trilogy, you won two. Do you feel like that's done with and that's in your past now?
As far as right now, for sure, it's in the past. I'm not even thinking about that. But he says a lot of shit, Keep talking.
So this fight with Charles Oliveira, a lot of people kind of underestimated him. Maybe they didn't think he was going to be champion. You recently took out a tweet that kind of blew up, and you said, I'm not underestimating him. Do you feel like people are sort of sleeping on him, and do you feel like that's something that you got to consciously, make sure you don't fall into?
Yeah, man. I don't like that, and I don't want to get caught up in that mindset. Like, a fight is a fight, and this guy's very dangerous. He has so many finishes in the UFC, so much experience, and I'm not, putting that aside. Like, this is a huge fight for him, for his legacy, for me, for my legacy, and all the experience throughout our whole career has built up to this fight, and the guy's very dangerous and very capable, and yeah, that's all I got to say, man. I respect his journey to get where he's at, to be the undisputed champ, because I have a similar one.
Right, yeah, that's something that I was going to ask, because like, he's had some downfalls, but he's always been sort of a promising guy. So like, do you feel like in that way you relate, like, hey, look, respect, you got to the top, but you didn't give up when things got tough?
For sure. We both had our hurdles that we had to get over, and both had to pick ourselves off the canvas multiple times. But we've both shown, I feel like, flashes of being a great fighter, flashes of brilliance in other fights. He's shown exceptional capabilities that he has in spurts in different fights, and I feel like I've done the same, and maybe he's putting it all together now on this streak he's on, the world champion. I'm obviously, personally, I feel great, incredible mentally and physically. So I think I'm putting it together. You might have two guys with a lot of experience at the top of their games really fighting for the lightweight belt here. This is a big fight.
And another question that I wanted to throw your way was the challenge. I don't know if, I think as a fan maybe we look into this more than the fighters, but like when you see Charles Oliveira, what he proposes as far as like his striking, the jiu-jitsu offense, do you like that challenge, or do you feel like maybe you've had other opponents that you've been more excited for to share the ring with in the past, or the cage?
No, when I watch fights at night and I watch Charles' history, he is great at jiu-jitsu. He has a lot of submissions, but the guy's a scrapper, and the guy will fight anywhere the fight goes, and that's the kind of fights I want to be involved in. The guy's really a lot of scrambles, a lot of striking exchanges, up and down. He gets into crazy, exciting fights, and that's what I'm going to be part of. Those are the kind of fights I feel like I excel at.
Certainly. And one more thing regarding Charles. Justin Gaethje recently made headlines by saying, you got a dog in him, he's got a dog in him, but Charles Oliveira doesn't have a dog in him. Do you feel like that's the case? Do you feel like he can break, or maybe he doesn't have what you and maybe Justin and others sort of share, sort of the ability to really get in the trenches and really dig deep?
I would love for the fight to reach that point to where we all find out in front of the world. That's the goal of mine, is to get this fight into those deep waters and see who really wants it more, see who's willing to bleed more, and leave it all out there, because I know I will, no question about it. But going to what Justin said, dude, I've said this, I'm saying the same shit over and over again, every interview. It feels corny, but when a fighter goes out there, our last fight's the most important. And he got hurt, came back second round and showed a championship grit and finished Michael Chandler, a guy that just took Justin to hell. So if that says anything, you're as good as your last fight. He's a world champion.
Certainly. And if you once you get that belt, is this going to be sort of the Dustin Poirier era? Do you see yourself being a long reigning champion, or do you feel like because you've been around the game for quite some time, or do you feel like maybe you have a short title reign and maybe decide to retire or anything like that?
No, I'm not retiring. 32, man. I feel good. You see the way I'm moving out here today. I feel good. I'm having fun. If anything, I'll go up. I'll probably go up to 170, if anything. But no, honestly, my goal isn't to try to be the most successful title defense, or have the most title defenses. I don't know. We'll see. One day at a time. I can't look. None of that's even reality until December 11th happens and I get my hand raised. I have to do that first before we can even go into these conversations, because I don't know what's next. I live my life one day at a time, man. Yeah. A quarter mile at a time.
Of course. And let me ask you this to end on this. We just took out an article on MMA Junkie. Mike Bong reported that you're working to provide 300,000 meals. 300,000. So great work there, obviously. But I also wanted to mention it because you can also donate apart from the fight kit that you'll be selling after the fight, right? So tell the people where they can donate and help out that great cause.
Yeah, me and the Good Fight Foundation, obviously for every fight we do the big goal. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so 2 days of Thanksgiving. Today's Tuesday, so Thursday we're doing a meal pickup at Préjean's in Lafayette, Louisiana. We have that going on. We have a Beat the Streets campaign for youth wrestling going on right now. But for this fight, I'm auctioning off my fight kit for Second Harvest Food Bank. We plan to do 300,000 meals for those in need in southern Louisiana. The sale of my fight kit, donations are going to go towards this, as well as we're going to put out a special hot sauce package for Fight Week Championship, some gold bottles, something fun like that. And $10 from every purchase is going to go towards this goal as well. And we're going to feed 300,000 people in South Louisiana. I'm excited about that. The Good Fight Foundation has done huge things this year, and the momentum is rolling, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great to hear. And I lied. Just a couple things that just came to mind right now. When I saw you sparring, man, that was your music, right?
Hell yeah.
Okay, because I heard a little bit of Michael Jackson, Grandmaster Funk, and a lot of soul and just funk in general.
Brown, some Rick James,
the Headhunters. I
think Isley Brothers. Yeah, we get down.
Do you feel how important is that? Because it really seems like it almost felt like you were fighting to the track. I'm not gonna lie. Is it is music a really big part of your life and of your fighting?
For sure, I think it is for probably most people. But for fighting, it just in the locker room, I'm jamming the same kind of music. It just puts me in the vibe, puts me in the zone, makes me feel good. You know what music should do. Yeah.
You're like the MC at the parties, I'm guessing.
It depends what parties. Where I'm from, man, a lot of parties I go to with older people, it's like country music and stuff. We got to see.
All right, well, Dustin, I appreciate the time. Best of luck on December 11th. Looking forward to your title fight.
Strapped up.